It's perfect.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
lower this.
So, all right. We show that we are live. What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Go Black to Africa. And I have a great surprise for you all. For those who know this young man here who has been in Africa at the young age, a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years, maybe somewhere around there, at the age of 19. But he's about to become a man too here. He's a man. His birthday is right around the corner, 10th. Let's welcome here Mark meets Africa. Mark, welcome, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be on video or in person. Unfortunately, now not in person, but with Go Black to Africa.
Well, you know what, Mark? It's been a pleasure too, man. We kind of chopped it up and everything when I was over there in Tanzania. And a lot of people, man, watch the videos when I did an interview with you because you're a very interesting young man, and you kind of just left America, man, and went on a hiatus, went on a journey, a venture, man, and um, very few people have the bravery. They don't have that so-called giddy up and go like you did for whatever reason. But you know, I wanted to come back and do a follow-up with you because you've been so busy doing a lot of things. But I know that our brothers and sisters, because of this movement that is happening, this migration, this pilgrimage. I like to use the word pilgrimage now because I'm gonna be doing some tours. But you know, being that you've been there, what, a year and a half, you said, Tanzania, please share your experience, how it's been here in this last year and a half. Maybe get into some what prompted you to go to Africa, and why have you remained just in Tanzania? For this past year and a half. Please share.
Okay. Okay. I'll start with how has it been? I'd say, I came here, and from the time I came here to now, it's all smiles and sunshine for the most part. Uh, of course, there's struggles and there's, differences and things like that. But I'd say from our last interview, something along the lines of "it is what it is." I'd say in the time since that last interview, I've definitely seen and learned a lot more since being here, which I'm assuming just comes with time, no matter who you are. And whoo-wee, I still love it, but as I said before this interview started, we cannot ignore the negative side of Tanzania if we are here to build and if we are here to further our people. We can't sugarcoat it. I started saying fairly recently, but not too recently, sugar is sweet, but diabetes kills. And this is the situation we're in, where a lot of people want a little bit of a sweet pill.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get into it then. The and let's I want to kind of start from the beginning. Why did you leave America? You know,
Uh, that's a hard one because I always say the reason I left. Well, first off, I'll start by saying I didn't leave because I had any particular issue with America. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm so sick of this and this and this and this, I'm leaving, and that's the reason I left, because I had a feeling, in my spirit, in my being, in my heart, whatever you want to call it, that said go. It said, go to Africa, and then you know, essentially I was going to go to the Ghana and then the Gambia when Ghana didn't work out, and then the Gambia closed their borders, and something said look to the east, and I looked to the east and I saw Kenya, and Kenya looked a little too westernized, so I looked down and I said, okay, Tanzania, and I'm here, and I've been here ever since.
yeah. And so most people have a story behind why they might have left America at a certain time and all that right there. But you basically saying you heard it in your spirit just to go and check out the motherland. And
Yeah.
so you kind of found yourself in Tanzania, and you came over at the age of 19. you know, and then people scratch their head and say, how's this young man can be able to travel like this and go to Africa? And you've been there a year and a half. Please share, as a young man who now you'll be 21 here in the 10th of this month, but you know, let's get a little personal on, you know, those feelings. 'Cause I mean, you know, there's a bit of nervousness, or maybe there's a bit of fear and doubt. You know, what was it? Because I know there are people who want to do the move. I mean, what was it that you went through in achieving to get to Africa? What were some of those spiritual challenges, you know? Please share.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start with what was I doing in America. Now, I lived on my own. You know, when I turned 18, I lived on my own. I had my job. I had at one point 4 jobs. So I was working 4 jobs, and I was I don't know, I was doing it. I have to give myself credit for that. You know, we as a people, we're some hard workers when we want to be.
Yeah.
And so I was working and working, and eventually I stopped working. I started a bit of a company, a little landscaping company, nothing too crazy. I made a little money, and I started an online company that dealt with marketing at the time. Nothing too crazy again. I wasn't, raking in an extreme amount of money, but it was enough to be comfortable and have, where'd you go, Black?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay, okay. But yeah, I was doing that, and I was going up in the world, if you would call it that. From the perspective of a young African American gentleman in the States, and of course, I come from Las Vegas, so we don't deal with too many extreme things there besides the heat. So I'm just living my life essentially. And I remember one day I get to my house and I sit down on my bed, and I'm thinking to myself, something doesn't feel right here. Not necessarily like negative, like, oh, something's wrong, but something just doesn't feel right. Like there's something that I'm supposed to be doing. And in that moment, that's when the whole epiphany came and said, go to Africa. And it was strange because I hadn't had any thoughts to go to Africa at that time. I knew I wanted to go to Africa, India, Southeast Asia from a very young age. I knew this. But to do what exactly? Not necessarily. So that feeling, that voice, whatever you want to call it, came upon me, and it said, go. And I went. I think the next week I was in Africa. I was in Tanzania. And again, I haven't left since.
Yeah. Now, a year and a half being there in Tanzania. I mean, are you pretty fluent now in Swahili? Because I'll be watching some of your videos, man, and you be rattling it off now, man. You are like you're basically a local. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how has it been, the reception, getting there on the ground? How has it been being received by the locals there in your experience? And being there in a year and a half, have you seen the progression of relationships build since you've been there?
No. I'd say, okay, going to the Swahili comment, I'd say I still got a long way to go when it comes down to Swahili, because I may be conversational, but when the cameras turn off and I'm a little tired for the day, the Swahili goes out the door, or a good chunk of it. I'm fortunate to know what I know in regards to the language, but again, I still have a long way to go before I could call myself fluent. In regards to being received, well received, and received in general, I'd say, I think when I first came here, I was received a bit better, oddly enough, because I think when you first come here, your energy is so much higher. And I told you off camera, whoo, man, this place will wear you down. Somebody made a comment and sent me a message, and they said the hardest place to be a Pan-African is in Africa, and I'm sure a lot of people have said this, but seeing it real time, you have a love and a desire to help your brothers and sisters, and to see your community globally grow, and to see so many counterproductive behaviors that kind of prohibit you from building, that's a little, it wears on your energy. So I say when I first got here, I explored a lot more. I definitely got out a lot more. The whole channel was about, Mark Meets Africa was about getting out there and interacting and being a part of this and that and that and this and that and going and making things happen. And I think over time, I won't even say I got tired, but, I've taken on enough projects now to keep me busy behind, like right now I'm in my office to keep, and you don't even see in front of the phone, there's this desk full of paperwork and my laptop that's literally shut because it's covered in so many documents. And, I've taken on enough projects to the point where we're all busy here, but whoo, man, I might have overdid it. I don't regret it though. Not one bit. Not a day goes by that I say I regret coming to Tanzania. Never will I say that, because Tanzania has given me things that I probably never would have developed in the States. I said Tanzania gave me, I thought I was a fearless business person in the States doing my small little business, but coming to Tanzania made me, I say, times 10 of that, tenfold. So the fear of doing business has gone down a little, for whatever reason. So I don't know if that answers the question.
No, it answers. It answers some of the questions. Yeah. So, but you're saying that it's more challenging or less challenging doing the business in Tanzania than compared to America.
200% more challenging.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say, coming here is going to be a business person's dream. Tanzania is ranked as one of the worst countries to do business in for a reason. We can't deny the statistics and the facts. It's like, I think, number 56 on a list out of 198. So that's not a good number. It's not the worst, but it's not good. You have a lot of not so great business practices here, outdated, backwards, if you will. And that's not to degrade the brothers and sisters that are doing that here. It's to say we have a lot, and I mean a lot of work to do here, like a lot. And it can be a large beast to kill, but someone's got to do it. And we, as the diaspora that are here, slowly but surely, we're working on it. We're chipping away at that beast. So
yeah,
just doing our thing.
Well, you being just about 21, you got plenty of time ahead of you, man, to go ahead and make some strides. But in saying that, though, have you made Tanzania your home? Is this a base for you, or you plan on maybe venturing out to other countries out there and starting some projects, which I'll ask you here after you answer this about, some of the projects that you have done. But are you plan on keep making Tanzania your home? Being there a year and a half already.
That's another hard one, for the simple fact that I said this before, but I love to move around. I like to explore, and the fact that I haven't been able to do that in a little while because of, again, whatever projects I've taken on, primarily the Street Children project. I even in my home right now, I have some of our young brothers in the other room. They're playing some video games, and we've been trying to get them all settled up and fix all their situations. But now I have a nonprofit that's hopefully going to deal with that, the one I'm trying to register. But in regards to making Tanzania my base, I don't see why not. But at the same time, I haven't explored many other places to say that this would be the best place for a base. So it wouldn't be the best decision to make if this is the only choice. So I got to go look at some other places, maybe in East Africa, West Africa. I could honestly see wherever our brothers and sisters are, that's a good base, wherever we are. So long as the mission is to help and to be a part of the community, build the community, whatever you want to call it. Where there's black there, I hope I'll be there.
Yeah.
Mark Meets Africa.
Yeah. So please share, because we talked about business. Is there one over another, or because you seem to have your hands mixed in the different types of business adventures, but can you share with the people, some of maybe one or two of the businesses that you have started and that you have found it to probably be maybe profitable or worth starting, and you could see it doing for you and others there in the country?
In Tanzania, yes. I'd say there's a handful of really profitable businesses that help the community. Uh, I guess I won't delay. Number one is schools. People don't realize how lucrative schools here are if they're structured correctly, private schools particularly. Um, but they're very profitable. Um,
What business are
manufacturing.
you name? You got. I know that you're involved with some businesses. Do you have a business, personal business that you could share that you find that is, a good business?
My own personal, or are you
Yeah,
saying
your
one
your
in
your
general?
personal adventure. Yeah.
Oh, I do have a company registered here. It's called Afrolux Limited, and it's like it does a lot, but for the most part, it's like textile, clothing, fabric manufacturer. We basically make clothes, and that's pretty profitable if structured correctly and if given a lot of time and love. Uh, Yeah, I'd say anything you produce here, if you get the market and you make it make sense in terms of your numbers, your logistics, it's profitable. Just produce something. The problem I think with production and manufacturing here is the lack of skilled workers. As harsh as that sounds, it's the truth. You won't find very many professional workers for the price you want. I know when I started our little factory, it was a little difficult finding fundies, as they call them, which is like fixers, workers who could actually do the job. I'd have a situation where, where's my water? I'd have a situation where I'd go into the factory one day and everybody was making something different. So I'll say, what are you guys making? We said, we're doing shirts. Oh, well, we thought, maybe we could produce uh, women's jeans. And I'm like, huh, well, who gave you that authorization? And it'll be a big blame game sometimes. And you gotta kind of address it with understanding and say, you know it is what it is. We'll just don't do it again. And sometimes you gotta fire people, and sometimes you gotta go through 6 or 7 rounds of people, right? Give them chances, but you gotta go, because business is business. Building your community or not, brothers and sisters or not, family or not, business is business. We can't be silly with business. We can't say, I feel like. No, we need what makes sense. So if you're going to do business in Tanzania, you better be ready to break a lot of hearts. And that's not to say go be harsh and be rude to people and be angry at people and be, essentially mean to people. No, but you've got to really, some people don't understand how business works. Some people have never worked in their life and they're 25, 30 years old, and so when they get their first job working for Mark's clothing company, right, that's barely producing anything at the time, they don't know what a job is to begin with, so they don't know. And again, you're going to have situations where you're going to be explaining to 30, 40-year-olds how to do something, and you got to kind of figure out how to make that make sense in your situation calmly and respectfully while still being profitable.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have
Hey,
not been back to America yet, have you? I know you've been there a year and a half, and you've stayed there on the continent. I mean, and the do you have any plans? I know you got family and stuff, relatives and all that are still in America. Um, do you plan on coming back to the U.S. For a spill? Do you miss it? Because people are sometimes, they talk about, and you did a video not too long ago on why is African Americans returning back, and and I know that that's a big interest that people are trying to figure out. One, homesick. Two, maybe a lack of funding. Um, what is it that made you successful in being able to stay a year and a half and haven't returned back to America? I mean, because like I said, you got family members and stuff, and but you're over there taking care of yourself. What is it that you find is in your success?
I'd say you have to be comfortable in any situation. And that sounds really cliche, but It goes deeper here because in the States, any situation is I can go and ask for some welfare. But here that doesn't exist. So any situation means maybe I have a family of three. This is for the families. Maybe I have a family of three or four, let's say four for this example. Instead of getting a 4-bedroom, $500 house, I'm going to get something more moderate for this amount of time. And in this amount of time, I know I'll be bringing in this amount, or I know I have this amount. It's all finance, really. It's all financial planning and budgeting. And I already did that in the States. So coming here, that was nothing. I got off the plane and knew for the most part what price range I wanted to stay in to begin with, and I knew which in the best part about it is I didn't want a whole lot to begin with. I didn't want a 7-bedroom house with a pool and a garage and an acre on the land. I didn't want that. I said, I need to be somewhere I can learn the language and be a part of the community and really get to know the issues and get to know my brothers and sisters here, introduce myself to them, walk down the street and have people saying, hey, how are you, neighbor? And that's what I got. And I was happy because that just so happened to align with, even if I could have afforded more at the beginning, I didn't pay more. So I ended up paying a very, very good price for a long time while being here because everywhere I wanted to be was somewhere that wasn't that expensive to begin with. So the adventurous side of me kind of saved me. I wouldn't even say saved me. It saved me money. So go adventure, be a part, go do something really different. I said, I know what a 3, 4, 5-bedroom house looks like. I don't need to see it again here. So when you ask, how did I stay for so long? Financial planning. That's the financial side of thing. I think the entertainment side of thing is I can't even speak right. The entertainment side of it is another thing as well. A lot of people leave because they have nothing to do here. They're bored. There's nothing for their children to do. There's nothing for the husband, the wife, nothing for them to do. Or they've run out of things to do and they're tired of going to the overpriced amusement park or the mall or something and paying $13 for a stick of deodorant. So they get bored because all the Western comforts, they realize there's not many here. And that's all they're used. That's all they're used to, some people. And some people don't venture out. When you venture out, I was in nature a lot. I remember one of my hobby in my videos before I deleted all the first ones, I would just be walking around in a random neighborhood at a random time of day with random people that I never met. And we'd be having a great time. And that was fun. Guess how much that cost? Zero. Or if anything, it cost a bus ride. So I could get on the bus. I think a lot of us come here and we have this mentality and we have this notion that we deserve more and we want to be comfortable and we want to have this luxury lifestyle despite having the budget that says we shouldn't have that. And we end up, selling ourselves short because we have no income. We haven't developed it yet. And we don't have any idea on how to make one while here. So instead of, moderating our spending, we say it'll all work out when it should, which is like it's great if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you better have a lot of faith, or you better have a plan, a solid plan. Adaptability. You say, well, it's all adaptability. If I had to put it into one word, how well can you adapt in a new environment?
Well, you hit on something there when it comes to the budget side of house, and you seem to be a frugal type of guy, and people are going to want to know, as far as you being a single guy by yourself, how much could one get away with spending in 1 year like yourself? Because you don't live high on the hog. You say, you can live in a 1-bedroom house, and you can, stay with eating local foods and not going to these expensive tourist areas. What if one was like yourself? What would it probably cost for a year stay in Tanzania if they wanted to be down on the ground with the locals, living like the locals, what would that be, Mark?
Go black to Africa. I'm gonna give you an answer, but I think, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Because you could do it, you could get away with it as a single person for now. Okay, give me a quick calculation second. Uh, I say realistically, you could probably do, coming fresh from the States here, you could probably get away with, and this is, again, what are you willing to sacrifice? But you could get away with $800 for the year.
800. Well, yeah, I mean, $800
Or
for
less. That's like, I'm sorry, that's for like what I feel the average, you could get away with that easily.
yeah.
That's not difficult. Here, no. You just have to look, and you have to get out there, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there a little more, and you have to be willing to give some things up. As anywhere in the world, if you want to live for less, you got to do less in terms of your spending. So give some stuff up, adapt a new lifestyle, go black. I'm sorry to ramble on a bit, but there are families here, and this is the best part about where I dropped off when I first got here. And I'm walking down the street, and a woman invites me into her house, because I think her kids were like playing, and I saw them the other day, and then I guess they told their family, "Oh, look, it's a foreigner." So I'm in the person's house, right? And here, you walk into people's house like it's nothing, and it's this mom, and she's cooking for me, and I'm sitting down on her couch, and I see all the kids running in and out of the house. I think one of them was like her uncle, or no, her nephew, and he was like their uncle, and all this stuff, and all this family here. And I remember I'm thinking to myself, how many people live in this house? I see one bed. It's a 2-room house. It's one bed. There's a sitting room. It's like a couch and a smaller couch, and then a table and a stove on the wall, kind of like I don't even want to say on the wall. It's like this wooden table. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, there's got to be 4, 5, maybe even 6 people living in this house. I saw what she was cooking. Eventually, or later on, I found out the price for rice, for beans, for all this stuff. And this is what they're eating every day. If I had to calculate it for a local Go Black, you could get away with probably $200 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could. That's a family of 6 if you do it right. Now I'm gonna say back up on the family of 6, maybe probably 500, right? But you'd be surprised how low people are living for. So if they can do it, if our brothers and sisters here can do it, if they can live like that, as we call it, like that, then why can't we?
So now let's kind of find a median area as far as realistically for a spoiled African American or from UK, and let's just say they're going to live frugal, but yet maybe have a little treat. Maybe go get them, go over to the tourist side and maybe eat a meal once a month, but still living in not necessarily a traditional Tanzanian home, but for the most part, a home that is 2-bedroom, nothing lavish, but just basic. What would you say the price would be? That, give or take. I mean, this is all a guesstimate anyway. They don't have to be exact.
Now, and it's just a single person.
Well, yeah, we're going to just say a single person. Yeah, a single person.
Oh, okay. I'd say they could get away with a 2-bedroom, not traditional, nothing too crazy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Ooh. I'd say they could probably get away with maybe 1,500 for the year.
So we're talking about, we're talking about $700 a month.
700.
I mean, excuse me. 7. You're talking. You said 1,500 a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you're talking me a heart attack.
$150, $150 or so, maybe a month. Which which people really don't, they find that shocking. That, come on, man, you mean to tell me $150 a month I could live over there And what you're saying is, yes, realistically, you could live that if you're willing to sacrifice wanting to pay $12 for a meal and pay a
Hmm.
fee that you think that you really need over there, or going into the tourist area grocery stores and paying, $9 for a small bag of Doritos that you probably want to crave, and you'll spend that $9. If you stay away from those areas,
Ah,
you could do it, right?
really?
Because
He
that's the
said
killer.
$9. Yeah.
That is the killer for most people, is that they want to have the very things that leaving the country they came from, and it's going to cost you. I mean, $9 it costs for a bag of Doritos there in Tanzania.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So family,
But
y'all,
go back.
y'all hear, family, that what Mark is saying is that typically what we really have a fault in, especially here in America, is a budgeting issue. And I've said this in many videos, Mark, that we don't know how to budget. We don't know how to finance, and we don't know how to sacrifice and put off, our desires today for maybe sometime in the future. But it seems like that you have made this work for yourself, which has made you that much more profitable in staying at the stint of a year and a half there, than most people who's gotten there and within a year. I get, well, what's the length of time are you seeing African Americans or people from the UK, Europe return back home after exhausting their funds or could not get the business up and running, what have you? What would you say the duration of time average is?
Now that's a hard one. I don't think I put an average to it, but I've seen a range. I've
Yeah.
seen
Okay.
large groups of people leaving after 3 months for various reasons.
Yeah.
I've seen people sink $60,000 into a business that went nowhere.
Yep.
I've seen people who have stayed for almost the same amount of time as me and are just now going back for whatever reason. I've seen people stay longer than me and
Yeah.
they're still here. I've seen people who have stayed longer than me and they left. And it's just such a variety of reasons. But I'd say the main categories are going back to what I said, which are things to do, finances for some. I know some people, maybe they'll, no, that was one person. Uh, and I don't know, it's hard to say. It's like there's so many ways things could go wrong. You're overseas and you have no real connection to where you come from. For some people, they get rid of their bank accounts, they get rid of their address, they burn everything for them. That, for the most part, right? They're trying to get rid of all the American stuff.
The
I've had,
extremists. Yeah.
yeah, which is not necessarily the smartest thing to do. If we say we're at war and if we say our enemy is, they who are there, then we need to realize that, again, and I'm not saying we are, whether I believe it or not, we need to be tactical. We need to be strategic with our moves. You use your enemy's resources against them. That's what the Chinese do. That's what Indians do. That's what every other culture does. But we want to get self-righteous and say we're too good to use our enemy's resources. We don't want to do business with them. Despite our community having one of the lowest spending powers in the world, we don't want to go and patronize their opportunities, right? Despite our community having some of the least opportunities presented to them, we don't want to go and be a part of their investment forums, despite our community having very little to invest in within our community. And we don't want to go and learn and see the strategies there. I'm not saying learn from them, go be under them, go be direct and go be buddy with them. You shouldn't do that either. But you should at least be watching and saying, why are they so successful? What are they doing? We're doing something that isn't working. They're doing something that is working. Who's to say we shouldn't adapt that to work for us?
Mm-hmm.
But we want to cut them off altogether, not realizing that, I use this example for my young brothers here. We're training up our young warriors. And a lot of things I want them to think with common sense. I say, if you go, and this is the mentality of a lot of our brothers and sisters here, and it's dangerous, which is, I guess I'll get into it now, which is they go and they get on social media, they get on all these platforms and they say, we hate whites, we hate them, we want all of them dead, we want to get rid of them, they're killing, and they go and they make this entire statement, and they have nothing to back up their actions or their course of actions for this. If you, I don't know about you, Go Black, but me, if someone comes up to me, or if I hear about somebody saying they hate me, they're plotting against me, they're making all these statements, I'm going to start preparing for war. I'm going to start developing things against them. I'm going to start making moves to step away from them and put myself in a position to attack, because I took that threat seriously. While we go home and we watch BET Music Awards and fall asleep with
Yeah.
a Chinese product on our eyes. We do that. We weren't serious when we made that threat, but they took it serious. They know we don't like them. Guess what? Now they really don't want to do business with us. Now they really don't want to be around us. Now they really are going to be more cautious of us. You don't want your enemy to think you hate them. You want them to believe that you love them. You want to be around them. And you don't even have to do that directly. You just have to make sure they don't think you hate them if you want to use their resources against them. And then, of course, there's other strategies for other things, other target goals. And we are not a strategic people in our current form. And that's the unfortunate thing, is that we don't have this tactical mindset that our great ancestors used to. I
Well,
mean, you have war strategies made up out of these ancient tribal things where, you know, the strategies of where should you place your soldiers? How do you cripple your enemy's economy? How do you do that? Came from a lot of ancient ancestral tribes. That came from a lot of what is it, the Bantu expansions and things like that. Where is that knowledge now?
well,
They're using it.
you hit on something, because and I've shared with people in my videos that a lot of people ask me, like, well, man, Go Black, you go to back to America, and they're like, you hate America, and why do you go back? See, you're just benefiting off of. Look, I tell people this right here. I'm a diverse type of guy. I do business everywhere, and
Yes.
to spread the wealth in different economies. Me and my wife is looking at, having a place in a Muslim state. We have already got in an African state. We are looking in a South American state. We already have in North America state. And the thing of it is that this is strategically uh, laid out by myself in understanding that if I am willing, if I am wanting to get that much more ahead, I would have to spread my eggs around in different places. And so that then we have to think internationally. People think, people always saying the Chinaman's coming to take, and the Indians are in Africa and they are all there, the Pakistanians, and they are just robbing and stealing from. Look, I'm here in Texas right now, and they got a Chinatown here, and it's a
Mm.
huge economy. It's a huge environment that the Chinamen are running. I just passed by a factory, a Chinese factory here in Houston,
Mm.
that you know this world is open and free game when it comes to doing business, and we have to open our minds to realize that, hey, I can do something small in a different country if I so choose, like you're doing yourself. You said you started your business and you got different business ventures you're doing. And this is security, I would call that. You are not dependent upon necessarily one country that you came from, America. You're using the resources that you have used from America. You now diversified and taken that resource or benefit and planted it in another place that is building your wealth. That I say to people that, man, that's a ballsy move, a strategic move, because as we're watching now, this world's system, these economical uh, systems that are falling, you know, that US dollar that you are using goes a long way there in Tanzania. I know that much. Because here, because of inflation, Mark, I don't know if you've been, keeping up on like prices and all that right there. I mean,
2% inflation.
huh?
I said 2% inflation.
Well, it's higher than that, man. A 20-ounce bottle of soda, which cost $1.39 last year, is at $2.19 for a 20-ounce bottle of soda.
Woo!
$2.19. This is the inflation that the dollar is so weak in America, to where that $1 in Tanzania, what can you do with $1, Mark? I mean, how far can $1 or $2 get you? I mean, can you buy you breakfast with $1? You know what I mean?
I could eat for the whole day with $1, and I've done it.
Yeah.
Probably less than that. I could
Uh-huh.
eat for the whole day, Go Black.
You need to do that on your channel, man, to see how far does $1 go, man, so we can watch. Because people, matter of fact, I want you all to chime in and subscribe to Mark Meets Africa's channel, because he has some interesting things, different than I see with most, because he is more local bound, and where most kind of show their daily life as far as their projects they might be doing, and they kind of stay to self. Mark, he is, you're gonna see the locals, and so we want to see how far that $1 gets you, Mark. All right, okay. So we're gonna look out for that video.
And you know something, Go Black? I actually used to have 2 videos like that. What does $1 get you? If anybody's watching this from my channel or Go Black and you have all my old videos before the delete, I remember somebody sent me an email saying they have the videos, do they want? Send them to me, because I'm gonna re-upload them. I had 2 videos like that. Street food in Tanzania and how far, and something along the lines of what does like $2 get you? But
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I would love to make a what does $1 get you video, because
yeah,
people would be surprised exactly what you said. A
yeah,
dollar goes a long way.
yeah. Some, hey, for breakfast you have some chapati and some what's some beans, maran, how you say beans,
Maharagi,
maran, huh?
maharagi.
Yeah. See, I've been gone for a little bit too long, but I'm gonna be back
Mhm.
in Tanzania in April, family, and I got my projects that I got going on, and Mark, I want you to join me too when I go over to Zanzibar, so that you can see the 2 projects that I got, as far as the property that I purchased, and so that we can even try to connect and do something with that as well. So let me ask you this right here, Mark. um Year and a half you've been there, you're going on 21 years old. I have already asked you, you looking at making Tanzania your base and all, but before we even started the conversation went live, you talked about looking at venturing into some other countries. Share with us some of the countries maybe that we can find you in here, hopefully, maybe sometime in the near future.
Okay. Now, I'd honestly like to say everywhere in Africa, but let's specify it down in the very near future. Hopefully, on my birthday, I can travel out. That's in like 7 days. So on the 10th, I wanted to go to Uganda maybe, but again, it's hard. I got kids.
Mhm.
But I'd like to say Uganda's high on the list, just in terms of East Africa. Malawi, because I haven't seen anything on Malawi, and I want to go to places I haven't seen anything on, because
Yeah,
those are the places where you can find real adventure, you can find real issues, you can find real people, you can find an untouched sort of sceneries and things like that. And I love those places. So I think I'd like to. I'm afraid I might not want to leave though, because when
yeah,
you start traveling, you don't want to stop.
yeah.
Um, and you would definitely know that, Go Black. You get around a lot, so I got to catch up. But I'd love to go to even places like I was saying earlier, India, Southeast Asia. There are Black communities here, and even if there aren't, Go Black. I'm just like you. I believe in doing business internationally. I
Mhm.
believe $1 is $1. I don't care if it's a white hand, blue hand, green hand. or yellow hand that gives it to me, a dollar is a dollar. I know what I'm going to use it for.
Yeah.
I took your resources. I'm going to turn them into a benefit for my brothers and sisters, my cause, essentially. Yeah. So a dollar is a dollar. I plan on taking it from whichever economy it'll come from, right? And I'm sure you're this. No, you are the same. And we need to get into that mentality. So I want to travel for business reasons. Again, India, they export a lot of things to Tanzania. People don't realize almost everything in Tanzania is either based on Middle Eastern culture or Indian culture. People don't realize the food here is Indian. The music here, Middle Eastern, Indian. The music, what is that stuff called? The religions, culture, traditions, India, Middle Eastern. Almost none of it's Africa. And that sounds so messed up because you have diehard people who have never been here who will say, no, Tanzania is African. It's African in the sense that it's African, but it's also non-African for the sense that it is not African. It's given up its identity, its cultural identity, because you look at the tribes and you look at the city and there's a huge difference. Because if you want to look at Tanzania and go look at the Maasai people, go look at some of these tribes that nobody's ever heard of. And then you say that's the traditional people, the people that originated from here. And now look at the city, look at where everybody lives, look at how everybody lives. None of it's Tanzanian. The toilets are European or Indian. The school system is British or Indian, or if it is Tanzanian, it's very poorly constructed. And that's the sad thing. You have everything Africa is bad, everything foreign is good. And that's the unfortunate thing we have going on now. So I want to capitalize on foreign markets, as well as put some projects here. The unfortunate thing about doing business in many African countries, from what I've heard and from what I've seen in Tanzania, is trustworthiness. And that's a whole nother topic. I know you got something to say about it, Go Black. Yeah, but that's a whole other topic. And I'd love to do something on that because our brothers and sisters here are getting scammed when they shouldn't be getting scammed. I've never been scammed to Go Black. I say I have enough confidence in my business skills and my common sense not to. Right. But brothers and sisters are getting scammed because they come here with the mentality of all Black people are good, or we're on this kumbaya brother sister stuff, when a lot of people don't think like that. In fact, a lot of people don't care. I just made a video on that too. People don't care. You tell them your entire life story about America and how you're being killed and persecuted, and they're looking at you like a dollar sign. Not everyone, but probably 95% of people.
Yeah.
The 7 cardinal sins, I see a lot of them here. A lot. And greed is one.
And you know, that's around the world. I mean, I just left South America and I was just down in the Curacao and Aruba. I was, you know, you go around the world. I mean, you know, when you come in as a foreigner, people think you got that money, and, you know, they want to have it, and they'll do whatever, you know, they can do. Some of the people, not a lot of, but, you know, you have the opportunists who are wanting to get that dollar out of your pocket so that they can have it. And, you know, trust only goes as far as really you can throw a person. And so my thing is that you got to be aware. And these business opportunities, you know, I tell people you better hold on tight to that dollar. You know, I know a young man in Tanzania. I mean, he lost $20,000 like that on a business venture for supposedly a gold mine. And I'm like, you know, hey brother, you know, sorry to hear that, but you know, you got to be much more wiser. But let me hit on this right here, Mark. And I know we got like 12 more minutes here before we'll reach an hour. But you mentioned something about that the brothers and sisters who are leaving, going back to their origin countries, that one of the things that they have found was that they're bored. Now, I can sit here and speak that most of brothers and sisters in America don't even know how to travel and have fun. And what I mean by that is because, you know, people going to Tanzania, I can find something to do every day because it's so much culture that you can learn something every day. As well as, you know, I can't see how you could be bored in Tanzania if you got kids. You got the beaches, right? You got the beaches. You could take your children to Arusha. You got Kilimanjaro. You got the Serengeti. You have different parks. You got the Zanzibar Island. You got so much, things that you can do, that even when I think about what do our people do just here in America, most people don't get out and travel. Most people stay in their small little circle. They don't venture out. I mean, but then when they go to Africa, they said they're bored. Their children are bored. They have nothing to do. No, your children stay home and be on their social media, and they don't get out to you don't take your children to museums and road trips and go out and check out, all that an area or country has, And so I noticed that in your travels there, just in Tanzania, you've hit a lot of areas just in Tanzania. Please name some of the few places and what interests that you have found there in some of these towns there in Tanzania.
Okay. Now I will start off by saying I've never been to Kilimanjaro. I've never been to a beach to actually be there. I've never been to any national park. I haven't done any of it.
Yeah.
Water park, they have them, but I haven't gone yet. I'd like to one day, maybe, but I haven't hit it yet. With just daily life, it is so, like you said, there's so much to do. I do have days where I'm in the house, and I consider that a little bit of a spiritual thing. But, for the most part, there's always something to do. I've been to Mbeya. I've been to Zanzibar many times, on and off camera. I've been to Arusha, of course, Kahama. I've been to all these small towns on the way there. I've been to, somebody invited me to go camping in the middle of nowhere. I think I want to do that another time. I've been to, I even want to start naming some of these little village areas, but I don't even remember the names. Yeah. And sometimes the scenery, maybe, and you know what, Go Black, I think I've been lacking on my channel. I need to show more cinematic sceneries and things like that. I don't want to be on the camera too much. I'm trying to move into I'm trying to move into the phase of, kind of this really, really high quality content. Because at first I thought, let me just stop doing YouTube and focus on business here, because it's, it's going. And then I said, no, people still want to see. And that's, I'm frugal. I like all the funds I can get. So, for the most part, you never give up a good income. You never give that up. That's just ridiculous. But, in I don't know. We got to talk off camera, Go Black, because there's something else I want to announce pretty soon. And I think I want your input on it that solves a lot of our community's problems here and can be pretty profitable.
Okay.
Do you think I could? I don't know. Maybe I could announce it. That's a hard. Because we need to get into the spectrum of investing. I keep seeing Diaspora brothers and sisters that are here, and they're saying things like, we need to get everybody to donate so we can build this. And I'm like, donate? What about offering shares? What about offering dividends? What about paying people to go and be a part of community development? Because you can't convince, and this sounds messed up, but take it with a grain of salt. You can't convince a Black person to just give out their money to build something and then make a profit off their money. That's one, not right for them, and two, not fair. You got to offer something, some more incentive. We can't donate to build our community's welfare. We have to invest. We need to start building generational wealth and teaching people how to strategically use that generational wealth to generate more generational wealth. I think a few months back, I was going to roll out it was like $1,000 or $500 to $1,000 investment opportunity for the community. And then I thought to myself, are they ready for it? So I did a small sample, and it went really well with the community that was not here. With the people that were here, it was like everybody, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Nobody wanted to do it. And I'm having a similar struggle right now with a project that's going on that I'd like to talk to you about after this stream is over. And I ran, even again, right now maybe I can pull it up. Although there's a lot of stuff on top, but I got my journal right in front of me. All these papers, I remember one day I was writing like maybe 37 pages of just, because I do market analysts and things like that. And so I wrote this entire thing and I showed it to a few people, very select few people. And, everybody loves it. It's great. The numbers make sense. It's profitable. You start giving out jobs for people to do because you're asking, how can I be a part of it? They don't want to do it. Or they do. They say, yes, okay, the deadline. Okay, it was 2 weeks ago. Where's the thing you said you were going to do? And then you get into a point where it's like, oh, I should just do it alone. And unfortunately, this is the situation. You have one person getting rich because everyone else won't do it. And then once you've done it, it's like, oh, how can I join? It's like, man, it's too late. It's sealed shut. Wait for the next one. So I want to, again, I want to discuss with you because you're a very influential person. You're very good at business, and you've got a lot of good advice to offer, as well as I think with your business endeavors in Zanzibar and some of the other things that I'm sure you have planned. I don't see why we can't put them together, because I'm trying to avoid neglecting the diaspora. Because as I'm here, all my businesses that are here are for locals. I have, and people don't know this, I have a school, and I want to show that pretty soon. I'm opening another one, and I haven't showed it on camera. That's for the local. It's in the local community. It's a lot of stuff, and it's one of those things I don't talk about because it's like,
well, and
it's so hard to do business with your brothers and sisters. They don't know how. Well, and I'm 20.
My thing is that I have shied away from a lot of, group business ventures because our people lack a lot of knowledge and understanding in how group business works. And even though I know a lot of us have the heart to want to give, and we have the heart to really want to get out and help, there is a lot more deeper things that go along when it comes to business. And I shy away with using people's money, or the money, maybe sometimes people who want to give to me, though people donate and all that right there. But we have to educate ourselves on on what business is, but like you just hit on. I mean, I'm gonna do a business venture with my properties I got. I mean, and this is going to be an opportunity for people to get in, and I'm looking at doing a timeshare. So I'm gonna be selling portions to give people a piece of Africa that will be theirs. Your week is your week. You can use it however which way you want. Give it to your kids. But every year, that is your week that you have, and you are in a plush area of vacationing, if you will. That's the ideal that I have in order to, one, that's a business move for me. Two, it's an opportunity for for our people to have something at a small cost that they can pass on to their children, but we will talk off camera and all that right there. But I do have to hit you with this one last question, and we'll open up for the people who are watching to ask you some questions. But you mentioned about you have children that you are responsible for there, right? And the project that you're going, please share with us this project. I've watched your videos and what you got going on. And I'm going to tell you, man, it is definitely beautiful to see a young man like yourself who are taking young boys off the street, giving them, a roof over their head, food in their stomach, clothes on their back, that will change not only their life, but their children's children down the road. Please share with us, what is this project that you got that you have been showing the world here in a few of your videos?
Okay, I guess, yeah. Keep
it simple, keep it short, keep it, yeah.
Okay. I was walking down the street one day in an area. It was in the city, and I remember it was nighttime, pretty late at night too. And I was on the phone with my friend, and I walk around a lot, and I walk around at night sometimes. Kind of crazy, but I do it. And so, I see this group of youngsters, or no, at first one, and they were asking for food, and I was like, I'm waving them away, like, go wait over there, I'll give you something, but I'm on the phone. It was a pretty, interesting phone call to begin with. And so, I walk a little farther, to stand and talk on the phone, and I start looking around. I'm like, another one, another one, another one. And then I see a woman, and she's cooking, and I go up to her, and I'm like, what's going on here? Da 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 da. And she explains the whole situation, that this is where all a lot of street children are. And I was like, oh, street children, huh? And then I guess I kind of sort of got everybody some food. We sat down, talked a little, and then I went away for the night. came back the next day, did that for maybe a week, came back every day, got breakfast, and then came back at night, got dinner. So everyone was eating every day, and we would pay this mama to cook for them. And eventually, like went to the government office. I said, and they were within walking distance of the problem. 100 kids on the street, and the office is 5-minute walk away. Kind of strange. So I went and I engaged them, and I said, "Are we going to solve this?" They said, "Yeah." And we started working together. And I figured it would go quicker on my own. They gave me the okay. And I guess now what I have is I took them all to my house, and I got the neighborhood to kind of fix something up for them. And I took some of them to their homes, regions, after figuring out each one of their stories. And now it's kind of coming to a close until the nonprofit is finished being registered, so I can open a children's home here and I can have the staff take care of everyone and all this stuff. But right now I kind of sort of don't trust anybody to have the same vision for my young brothers, because I do see them as young brothers. I see them as my family. And if you see your young brother or your sister, your mother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother on the street, you don't question, do I have to feed this person? It's let's go eat. And so, you sit down and you eat. You may not give them money, but you sit down and you eat. And, I said, I could do that anywhere. Hey, let's all go. Got the okay. And we've been here ever since. And again, now, I'm down to a smaller number. It went from a high number to a low number because, again, we're trying to fix everybody's situation. So far, people's situations have been resolved. Some of them have gone home. Some of them are in schools. Some of them are, in other programs that we've put together for them. But now I want to do this, kind of monetize this, or not monetize it, automate it. That sounds horrible. But I do want to monetize it so it can self-sustain, because I don't want to rely on, donations to run my family's life, my young brother's life, because that's inconsistent, especially with our brothers and sisters. It's inconsistent, right? You don't know when Rochelle's going to lose her job. I say that jokingly, but, as a lighthearted example as to the real issue here. And I don't know. So I'm trying to solve that problem. I haven't gotten too much support from the government, but I haven't, I think now with the local governments, that's where all the support is. But yeah, we got projects going on, Go Black. I want to announce a community project pretty soon.
Well, I was going to ask you, man, Mark, that if you wanted to share your nonprofit that you got going on, if people who could donate to, what you're doing, because you're doing great things. You're a man of action. You're not just speaking it, you're doing it and you're showing it. And that's where, I've Go Black, we donated to your cause. We,
wow, thank you.
Yeah. I think it was last year. Sometime I think I reached out to you and
I got it.
Yeah. And sent you all some
I remember that.
Sent your cause money because of, it was, I forget what video it was, but it was definitely with the young boys. And it was definitely moving to see, man, that the work you're putting in and the sacrifice that you are making is to be 20 years old. It's moving and it's powerful to see that one soul like yourself who could be so giving. I had no other choice but to pour into the very things that you are doing. So people, I say that, please share with the people, man, your nonprofit organization or a way that they can donate if they would like to. Please share the information.
Now that's it's finishing up its registration process. Right now, we do still get a few donations, not anything crazy, but it's being funded essentially by my other company. So the company I have here, 60% of the revenue is going towards making sure these youngsters are in school. And, just so there's a little bit more consistency. I'd like to roll out the nonprofit when it's fully registered so I can keep all the paperwork straight, or in order, I should say, to be more correct. I'd say a more beneficial project, again, Go Black, going into what, do you think I could ask you something business related?
Sure. Yeah, man, you can ask me anything.
Okay. Now go black. This is, and I ran this across a few other of the Diaspora YouTubers, some of the uh a few other ones. And I'm saying it now, because I have you here. And that's, what do you think? And I said this earlier. I said this maybe like 3 times throughout my channel, months ago, 6 months ago, 4 months ago, one time 8 months ago. But what do you think about a diaspora community center that has? And I could read you off this paper, but I can't because of business reasons. So off
Yeah.
camera, of course.
Yeah.
But a diaspora community center, and I ran these numbers. It's pretty profitable and it's beneficial to the community.
Well, we'll talk off of that, because I mean it would have to be more information I would need in what you're saying as far as a diaspora and community center. Um, but I mean a community center is powerful, which really lacks in a lot of our communities today.
Funny. Java, I'm sorry, this young brother just came in into the office. I should have locked the door.
Yeah.
You want to say hi? Say hi. Oh,
yeah, I can't even.
Java, Java. O seu gol pesado. Java. Calma aí. This is Avon. Hi, he's learning English. Teach them some English. Say some English. When I do, he's saying he doesn't know English. He's learning. Okay. Haya, hamna shida. Haya, wewe kuoga. Kumbuka baadaye kwa dawa, sawa? Oh, haya love.
Yeah. And right there, the young man there, but the community center. Community is a powerful outlet, inlet for people. I mean, and the sad part today that I even see in America is that there is a lack of a community center, that used to be used from people for people, as that outlet for children. I mean, for educational purposes, for whether it's for using for physical purposes, and different groups of learning and playing and building, and I mean so much that a community center provides and brings to a place that we'll talk about that off air and seeing what you got going, and then we can go from there. But family, if y'all got questions for Mark, go ahead and put it in the chat. Please put a question mark so that we know. Question mark. I like that. Question mark.
Wow.
Yeah, let's question Mark so we can go ahead and maybe tap into his mindset and see what he has to say, what have you. But appreciate you, Mark, in this hour of power that had an opportunity to interview you again. People will be able to hear what you got going on. I'll put some stuff up here. Somebody's asking about Cash App. Do you have a Cash App for those who want to donate? Do you, Mark?
I do. What is it? If I go off of this on my phone, is it gonna cut it?
I'm not sure. You don't know your Cash App, man.
I don't remember my man. I got so many financial accounts. You would think I was laundering money.
Okay. Hold on 1 second here. I got it because let me see here. So do you have other PayPal? Do you have any other means that you want to go ahead and share with the people?
Yes, I have a PayPal. It is, I don't know the PayPal either. That is not good. That is not good. But I do have the Cash App.
Okay.
Wow. That's a shame. I ought to remember that. Hmm.
Well, if you don't have it on hand, I'm looking through mine because, but my goodness, I got so much in here that it'd probably take me forever to find you. Um, Let me look right here as I don't know why you didn't pop up. Yeah, go ahead and see if you can go ahead and switch over to for your Cash App. People want to know that question right there. Uh,
Okay, here I
yeah,
go.
you should be able to. Let's
Okay.
see if we get to some other questions here. His
Okay.
YouTube channel name is at the bottom right here, scrolling across. Mark Meets Africa. That is his YouTube channel.
Can you still hear me, Go Black?
I still can hear you. Yes.
Okay, the Cash App is, the dollar sign they use, and then Mark, Mark, the letter A, Victorian, Victorian. So
Say that.
Mark,
Uh-huh.
A, Victorian, Victorian.
Okay.
Ooh, can I also give my business email?
You sure can.
Thank you, Go Black. Man. I'm excited because this next project, again, I'm excited to talk after this because this next project, again, I got some of the big YouTubers and we're trying to get together on this. And I don't want to surprise anybody, but again, we're trying to build something for everybody who's coming so we can eliminate the problem of your kids have nothing to do, you have nothing to do, you have no income, you have no skills while here, and you have no way of communicating with the community. So we want to get rid of all those problems with one thing. And hopefully we can also, oh, I see it. How did you learn the language and what is the language? The language is Swahili, and I got here and I remember I went to, because the area I lived in, nobody spoke English. And so every day, this same group of kids, and I think a few old people they sit me down and they say, do you remember how to say hair? Of course, in Swahili, unajua nuele, nuele, nuele. And every day I would repeat, repeat, repeat. And they'd see me. Sometimes I don't even know how they found me, but they'd be coming around the corner in a big group and they'd all pull me. They take your hand and they take you to the house. They sit you down. Do you remember how to say this? What is this? What is this? What is this?
Yeah.
And so eventually I picked it up. And then, of course, throughout the year, I make it sound like it's been so long. You discuss with the Diaspora. Oh, business email. markmeetsbusiness@gmail.com. And that is for serious people who are interested in either investing in Tanzania or investments in general. And we can get something going for you. Because I have another email. It's markmeetsafrica@gmail.com. I'm a little behind on emails on that, but that's general email. So if you're very serious about business, if you're looking for financial opportunities in Tanzania or in general, because again, I have 6 companies and one of them is a holdings company. So we have a few more companies under that one here now. And if you want to, I suppose, invest in Tanzania, email and we can get something going because the investment opportunities coming up, hopefully with, again, some of the diaspora that you guys see on the YouTube channels, such as myself and Go Black, if everything goes well. I know he's a busy man, but cross fingers, as they say. But if you guys want to get together and do some business stuff, I'm all for it. We take business seriously, or at least I know Go Black does, and I do. So,
yeah. All right, your next question.
If you have a dream.
Your next question. Will you give Ghana one day?
Wow.
Visit
Thank
Ghana?
you to everybody. I'm over here. Wow. Will you visit Ghana one day soon? Are you interested in learning Ewe or Twi? If those are languages, I'd be more than interested in learning them. And I'd love to go to Ghana. I would love to. I think I originally started with wanting to go to Ghana and then eventually to Gambia. And then, of course, I started looking at East Africa. But West Africa never left my mind. The entire time I've been here, I said, West Africa, I wonder what you're like. So I want to meet West Africa and see, what's going on over there. I've heard some good things, I've heard some bad things, but I want to go see for myself.
Yeah. Is that your correct WhatsApp? Oh, right there on the screen.
Mark A. My WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Oh, the Cash App. Yes.
Cash App, excuse me. That's the Cash
Mark
App.
A. Victorian. Victorian. Yep. You
Yep.
guys are amazing. I don't know what, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys. This is community right here. And it does, I don't know. I'm happy to see it. And when it grows and when we do more and when our community finally spreads to a global scale in terms of unification on a global scale, because we got Black people in India, we got Black people in China, Japan, and those are citizens of those countries. Imagine if the citizens of these countries took advantage of the economic opportunities there, and it'd be like every country in the world in some way coming together, unifying for the good of Africa. That'd be that'd be a historic event. If all the diaspora and all the countries, all the major countries, just in the US, you have access to so many things, loans and all these business opportunities. And if you harness that power, if you harness that potential, investment potential and poured that into Africa, you would be changing a lot. Do you need a vaccine test to travel to Tanzania? If it's the COVID test, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm sure you need a COVID test. But
COVID
a vaccine,
test, not a vaccine. Yeah.
I'm over here like, yeah, you don't need no test. Get on the plane. I heard that Aaron Gadner. African Americans have not necessarily gained a bad reputation, I would say. I'd say it's more so, I think as people are here longer, they're starting to notice not so positive things about the country. And a lot of people I think I just made a video on this. If you are interested, please check that out. It's called Don't Give Out Your Bank Account, or Don't Give Out Your Bank PIN, or something along those lines. And, it talks about a phenomenon going on here, which is basically people, maybe sometimes our brothers and sisters, our Tanzanian brothers and sisters, they don't care about our problems in the community abroad. So they don't care about you being shot up and killed by the police and persecuted and targeted, and they don't care about it. A lot of them, 95%, I'd say, do not care. They just see you as dollar signs. And people are realizing this, and some people can't handle that. And so they kind of have a negative perception of Tanzania, which in turn, as it should, I suppose, causes a bad feeling towards them. But I'd say that's exclusive to certain individuals. I haven't experienced it. I haven't had people saying, hey, you Black American, get out. But some people have. And I've heard it from quite a few people who have literally just been told by the Tanzanian government, you Black Americans should not be here. I've never experienced that. And I've gone to the same offices they've gone to after they've gone. So I think it's just for those individuals sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on how you go at them too. It's the same in our community. If you come at somebody wrong, they're going to respond that way. So.
Well, hey, Mark, that's about the questions we have there in the chat. Is there any last closing words you would like to share with brothers and sisters on their travel visits to Africa? Any words of wisdom that you would like to just depart with, given to our brothers and sisters?
That's a hard one. No. Well, yes. I want to say, first of all, thank you, Go Black to Africa. Because like I said, it's always a pleasure being with you, whether it's in person or on screen. And then thank you to everybody that's been here. Thank you to everybody that's supporting me and Go Black in whatever way you do, whether it's financially, whether it's with your words of encouragement, or whether it's with your advice, your business support, or anything else. Thank you guys, because you don't realize how much that does for us content creators / African American pioneers, whatever you want to call us, diaspora, the first goers, the first wave. You don't know what that does for us. So even just seeing a comment on screen that says, you're amazing, or, oh my gosh, you guys are really doing it over there. How did you do that? And that kind of boosts us in a way. We are in a situation where we're around brothers and sisters that do not know how to give sometimes. So they take, and that's a spiritual thing. It takes from your energy. So when you see a brother and sister on the internet who looks like you and has a similar heart for what you believe in, and they put a comment saying something like, "You're doing great, keep going," you don't realize that really does something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
over time, especially. It may
Yeah.
not at first, because you got a lot of energy when you start these videos and you started your journey, you have a lot of energy, but with any journey, you lose energy as you go along. So when you have those motivational, it's like in a movie, right? You have the main character and over time they're losing energy, and then they get that boost halfway through that says keep going, and they keep going. So you guys are our boost. So thank you guys. I don't know what else to say. You guys are incredible, and I'm gonna leave it at you guys are incredible. You know, we got to believe in ourselves as a community, and we're making history. We really are. Everybody that believes in this, everybody that's a part of this movement, everybody who's spiritually awake to see this, because a lot of people see it, but they don't see it. You have people that are asleep, and you have people that are dead, and you have people that are awake, and a lot of us are waking up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hold tight, Mark. Let me go ahead into my closing right here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate each and every one of you all for just coming and chiming in with our guest, Mark Meets Africa. The the You know, he has shared some great information. His journey over to Tanzania. He's been there a year and a half. Started out as a young 19-year-old, soon to be 21 here, and we appreciate the hard work he has been doing and his business venture over in Africa, as well as his heart of giving to the local people. And I say that, you know, for those who have a curiosity, those who have a mindset of wondering, you know, should they go visit Africa? You know, I'm always going to say, go black to Africa. So with that, family, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all who spent your time, your what it was, your finances, your beautiful words of kindness, and your prayers, and your everything that you all do. Like Mark said, if it was not for you all, I would not be having this channel. And so then I thank each and every one of you all. Mark, thank you very much for your words of wisdom, your experiences that you have shared. Peace and blessings, families, and we are out. Sit tight, there, Mark.
peace.